Hello, I'm going to try to show you my bind off that I use for all my flat panel loom knitting. This is a sample piece that I've made. It's just got garter edges and an E-wrap middle. I used 1/2 inch peg gauge with number 4 yarn. Okay, now I skipped the first peg in each row and I U-wrapped each peg in the last peg of each row. If you do this, you need to move this first peg over and knit it off, and this peg over and knit it off. If you've done knit every single peg, you don't need to move those turning pegs. So the first thing I'm going to do is move this loop to this peg, snug it up, and knit it off. Bear with me, I don't do very many videos and this is very difficult for me. Lift this up, put it on this peg, and knit it off. Okay, this is where we will start. The first thing I do is I wrap the working yarn around 2.5 or 3 times the pegs that I am currently using. So that's 1, 2, 3, and back. That it may be more yarn than I need, but I'd rather have it that way. Okay. Now you can just take that off. Okay, and now I use a bent tip knitting needle like this. You can, for a short project, you could just use your hook, but I prefer this. Okay, so the first thing you want to do is lay the yarn in front of that next peg, or the first peg with a loop on it, I'm sorry. Okay, and then bring your needle up through this one. Okay, now you're going to bring it down through where you laid your yarn over. It's going to become like a loop, and then the original loop on it. So you want to go down through both of those loops and snug it up. I just pull snugly. Then I do the same thing again. I lay it in front of this peg, the next peg, and I come up this peg. And then down through both pegs on the previous. And that's how I'm going to do the whole way across. Lay it in front of this peg, bring the yarn needle up through that one, and then down through both of those. Oops, I came up through that one, down through the previous one. It's hard to pay attention with this camera in front of me. Okay. So up through that one, and the yarn will automatically go in front of that peg, and then down through the 2 in front, and snug it up, just like that. Okay, so go up through this one, and down the one with 2, up this one, down this one, up and down. Always go down through 2 loops. Do not take any loops off of your loom until you're all the way around your loom. I don't take any loops off as I go. I keep them on so the tension stays the same on all of the loops. And the last one, just go up through the last one again, and that's it. Okay, then you can cut your yarn however far you want to keep it. And then just go back. On a large item that I'm working on, if I'm working on a blanket, I will take off every other loop first, because the weight of the blanket really pulls on these loops and can cause some stretching that I don't want to be there. So I will take off every other loop, and then go back and take off. Now that wouldn't have been a problem with the sample, but I'm showing you because that's how I write up most of my patterns. And then it's off the loom, and I usually just give it a little stretchy. I lay it out flat. I always stretch my samples and my blankets in all directions. That there is your bind off and your cast on, and there the two are together, which looks pretty darn close. And then I weave in my tails. I hope that helps you with your bind off. Have a great day.